Yeah, I managed to stay tough, and it was a great win. So very happy to be in the second week again.
Alex, congrats on the win. I want to ask about your opponent today. He had obviously a crazy run here and never played a Grand Slam match before. What do you think of his run and of his level today?
Yeah, I completely understand the run. I mean, the level he showed, not just today, the whole week. He's extremely dangerous player. He's got an unbelievable serve, a great forehand. He takes the racket out of your hand, and when he's playing with a lot of confidence, it makes it very tricky opponent. So for me today, I had to bring some of my best tennis to get through, and especially in those tough moments. So yeah, he deserves a lot of credit. He's had a hell of a tournament, and I hope he builds from this and brings this level, week in week out.
Alex, I know injuries are part of sports, but I don't think I'll forget the look on your face at the end of your match last year when you just got through and you realised something was serious was up, and you're in a great position in the draw to take on Novak, and you didn't get that chance. I just wonder how you reflect on that, and now the fact that you're here again with another chance.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny how life works. Here we are a year later, and I'm gonna more likely than not get that matchup. So it is around earlier, but still, it was a brutal time for me last year, having to deal with all of those emotions. But here we are, a year later, feeling good, ready to go, and I'm gonna get my chance again. So I'm excited for that.
Alex, when did you realise that Novak was in your draw? And can you give us an insight into what it's like, especially on the Grand Slam stage, coming up against someone like that?
Well, to be completely fair, I don't look at the draw whatsoever. The only way I'm gonna know who I'm playing is through media, basically. And I hadn't really heard about my draw until maybe 2 days ago, where there was a slight comment about Novak could potentially be in your section, and I kind of assumed that it was my next round opponent. But realistically, it's not something that, if it was up to me, I would have found out just as I finished my match, as I'm cooling down on the bike, and I asked my team, all right, who's next? But yeah, it's exciting. These are the matches you want to be playing, and you don't want to go through a draw or a Grand Slam and feel like everything's been handed to you. You ultimately want to be beating the best players, and that's my focus.
Hey, just wondering how during your matches, how much do you listen to the crowd? How much does that give you motivation? Obviously, you say this is like your second home slam. How much do you listen to the crowd, or you try and focus on your match completely?
I really do like to engage with the crowd, and I like to single out certain people in the crowd that's given me support, and they're out there sitting through a long 5-set match giving me support. So I feel like it's my duty to give them back the energy they're giving me, right? So they fire me up, I fire them up. It creates a good atmosphere, and yeah, I definitely use it when I'm on the court. I really like to lock in with a lot of different people in the crowd. I've got obviously my team, but then I'll lock in with strangers who I don't know, but they're supporting me. So I'll give them a couple come-ons here and there.
Or maybe wrong, and you can correct me. Is this the first time likely to be on centre since Rafa? Have you played on centre aside from that? And if so, what does that present for you?
I think I actually played. Did I play Liam Brody
Oh, maybe.
on centre? I think I did.
Okay. Yeah.
Playing on centre is the goal ultimately. That's the way I kind of look at it. Is that if I'm playing matches on centre court, is I'm doing something right, whether it's on my own merit or I'm getting to the deep end of tournaments. But I always have it as a good sign, and that's the biggest stage. So that's where you want to be competing and playing some of your best tennis.
Craig.
Alex, expecting it to be centre court, be strange if it's not. How do you prepare for a match on a court like that? And is it any different when you prepare for a match against Djokovic to anybody else?
Well, the way I look at it is you definitely, the whole goal is to prepare matches exactly the same way, whether you're playing first round or fourth round, or regardless of the opponent. And that's kind of the mindset and focus that I'm going to be having. Obviously, I know what to expect from him. So it's not going to be something where I'm on the court and he hits some good shots and I'm going to be like, oh, where did that come from? I know what he's capable of. So that will be in the back of my mind, and yeah, I'm expecting him to bring some of his best tennis, as he so often does in Grand Slam. So I see it as the challenge, and that's what I want. These are the matches I want to be playing.
Is it any different being on the most famous court in the world where you can't really go and have a warm-up session beforehand or anything?
I've played on basically every court now in my career, so there are experiences that I can draw from. It's not early stages in my career. I feel like I'm somewhat of a veteran when it comes to being around the tour. I've played on a lot of these courts, and I've played a lot of these top players in big moments. I played Novak obviously on Rod Laver at home. So yeah, I can draw from previous experiences, so I won't let the fact that I'm playing on centre court affect me. In fact, I see it as exciting, and yeah, I'm ready for the challenge.
Ian.
Looking at your 12 months, you had this extraordinary 12 months where you've had ups and downs. Are you better prepared now than you would have been, say, 12 months ago to face Novak?
That's a good question. I think there's definitely two versions of myself. Last year was a version of myself which was very confident and ready to kind of take on the world, and yeah, I just kind of got stopped in my tracks. I would say the version that I am right now is a lot wiser, and I've lived through a lot more experiences. I've played a lot more big matches, so I think I'm more prepared mentally going into this next match. Whilst maybe my level last year was very high and it was kind of quite dangerous, I feel like this year mentally I'm in a really good place, and I'm hoping that the game, the tennis, is going to come along.
Billy.
What have been your observations of Novak Djokovic from the time he passed those other guys until today? And what does it make you think about the way he's done it?
I mean, yeah, Novak's completed the game, right? He's broken all the records. It's amazing for him to still be showing up and still showing that fire and desire to win more, right? He's a player that can find motivation and fire from anything, and that's extremely dangerous. So you kind of don't want to give him something to get motivated about, because then you'll definitely see his absolute best side.
Mark, last question, please.
Alex, can I get you to reflect on the 3 previous meetings with Novak? You go back to that Australian Open where Novak was basically at the peak of his powers and had a very dominant display. Then there was that United Cup result, which was in between that period where he beat a lot of top 10 players and really emerged. And then finally that really competitive one in Monte Carlo on clay.
Yeah, I think a big contrast of matches. Obviously, that first one we played was a whitewash. He was way too good, and I had no answers for him. Then for me, in my career, it was an incredible moment to be able to overcome that previous result and actually finish out on top. So that was a huge stepping stone in my career and my confidence levels, because the feeling I had after that first time we played wasn't great, and I was able to overcome that. And I think the last time we played, I wouldn't classify it as the best match we've played. I think it was quite scrappy from both of us, and it wasn't our best level. And he kind of ended up on top, but I wouldn't say that he played great, I played great. It was just kind of a little bit of a scrappy match. So now I'm getting to play him on one of his, if not his favorite surfaces and his favorite tournament. So it's going to be the ultimate challenge, and I'm excited for it.